Honey, where are my socks? Honey, where are my socks? Honey, where...
Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like...
Fucker! You fucker! Hey, fucker!
Oh! Huh? What the f...
Hello again, everyone. This is Bionic Slime. I am your online voice for reviews of your choice, and this is another installment of BS Reviews. Now, for those of you who have seen my Love Happens review, you'll notice that I mentioned that I was trying to see Zombieland, but circumstances changed and I didn't see that movie. Well, I finally got my ass around to seeing Zombieland, and thankfully, after seeing it, now I have a great mystery that was been removed off the top of my head. And if you're wondering what that mystery is that whether or not I should listen to critics, or at least not listen to them. You see, I hate critics. I don't like them on newspapers or on TV shows or whatever. I think they're total douchebags who wouldn't know a good movie if it crawled up their asshole, laid eggs in their stomach, and then burst out of their chest a la Alien style. So, you can imagine my concern when I saw that from my local paper, Zombieland got 3.5 stars. What that usually means to me is that if a critic loves the movie, I'm probably going to hate it or not like it as much. If the critic rips the new movie an asshole, then I'm probably going to love the movie. So was that the case with Zombieland? Well, it kind of was and it kind of wasn't. Let me explain. Zombieland is brought to you by Columbia Pictures and was directed by Ruben Fleischer. It was written by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick. It stars Jesse Eisenburg as Columbus, Woody Harrelson as Tallahassee, Emma Stone as Wichita, Abigail Breslin as Little Rock, and Bill Murray as himself. The plot of Zombieland. Living up true to its name, Zombieland is pretty much what we now call Earth, which has become a zombie paradise. A viral outbreak, that's pretty much how they all go, so it's not really much of a surprise, has devastated the planet and turned pretty much 90% of the population into zombies. Everyone is either dead, undead, or being eaten and about to become dead. Everyone is running around screaming, trying their best to survive the zombie apocalypse, which I'm sure we've all thought about at one point. Don't lie to me. You're a geek. Trust me, you've probably thought about it at some point. But this time, instead of following a intelligent group of army commandos or soldiers, we're instead following a group of unlucky travelers who just happen to be slamming into each other while going to the places that they are coincidentally named after. The basic point is that they're all trying just to survive the zombie apocalypse, and in the meantime, trying to find Twinkies, a safe home, and bust as many zombie skulls as they can, all for our morbid amusement. Review of the plot of Zombieland. There isn't really much plot to speak of, in case you didn't already notice. Zombieland has been compared to Shaun of the Dead, saying like it's our American version of Shaun of the Dead. I don't really agree, as this movie, while it is a parody-like film, it's not viewed as much as... It's not treated as much as a parody as Shaun of the Dead was, which is a very consistent parody film. However, what works here is that, like Shaun of the Dead, it takes a fresh, new, intelligent, and amusing take on zombies. It exploits all the cliches, which I'm sure we're all very familiar with for those who have read the Zombie Survival Handbook. Yes, it's a real book, and it has real rules, which the movie humorously slams in front of your face several times throughout the film. Stay limber, double tap, shoot someone twice in the head to make sure the zombie's dead, always buckle up, run as fast as you can, avoid the bathrooms, and enjoy the little things. Stuff like that. The movie knows that this movie is a joke. It knows that. It makes no attempt to hide that, nor does it try to make the movie to be anything else but a comedic film. And in that regard, it really works, because the whole point is you're having these fresh takes on these gags on zombie movies, and it works hilariously, particularly the opening sequence, which is brilliantly done. It's one of the best parts of the film, that it uses such ingenious yet simplistic humor to make the horrifying cuts to zombies appear humorous and funny by exploring the same rules, cliches, and gags that we're all very familiar with and enjoy in zombie movies. So in that way, it worked. As far as a plot, it really didn't, but let's be honest, who's going to see a movie called Zombieland for a plot? Review the characters. The writing, as I said, is one of the highlights of this film, as well as the badass, awesome opening sequence. And what really makes the writing also work is, as I said before, the unique process of actually naming the characters after the places they are going. Named after Columbus, Little Rock. It's an interesting way because it presents the characters in a realistic way. When a zombie movie comes out, pretty much all of our identities are washed away. Our past lives are pretty much non-existent, so it makes sense that these characters would only be known by where they're going rather than the old lives they're leaving behind thanks to the zombie all-you-can-eat buffet. Jesse Eisenberg was very good in this as Columbus. I've seen him before, and while it does seem he's trapped in the same geekish, awkish Michael Cera kind of character, in here it really works for him, particularly with his humorous obsession with phobias, his nervous talking, and his neurotic little schizoid personality behavior. It works very well for him. Emma Stone was good as Wichita. She was good here. She was kind of obnoxious at first, along with Abigail Breslin, since the two characters are quite mischievous. I won't say what they do, but they were good, as they got on. I mean, but by far, the main point of this film, actually the only reason this movie exists is because of Woody Harrelson as Tallahassee. He is by far the movie's finest creation, finest cinematic moment. He's hysterical, he's bizarre, he represents all of the wackiness we expect from a character like him, and the fact that he's obsessed with just finding that ever-elusive Twinkie while getting a flat-out borderline hard-on for slagging zombies just makes the character all the more fun to watch. He's a riot, he's a hoot, this part was written for him, and he deserves all the credit and appreciation for it because he is an absolute riot. And Bill Murray, I'm not even going to say what he does in the film because you need to see it for yourself. Review the cinematography and music. Music was excellent. You got a really nice, weird supply of odd tunes. You got Metallica's For Whom the Bell Tolls. You got some funny music. You got some sad music. It's a really weird soundtrack, but it just felt so right. You got these rockin' tunes that just seem to fit with the whole zombie doomsday scenario. It makes it funnier. It makes it more enjoyable, and it makes it more of the thrill action ride that some zombie movies end up becoming. This one doesn't really become that, but it really works with it. Cinematography was excellent. I mean, hell, the whole opening sequence, just the way it's filmed, is so beautifully creative and hilarious that you can't help but just gush over how awesome it was. The ending sequence taking place in the carnival is excellently shot. Beautiful visuals of all the setups, particularly with how the zombies first attacking the people in the beginning, and the cinematography also helps with the whole showing the rules on screen thing. It just made the whole thing so much more funnier. Flaws about the film. Despite everyone's, glorified lovey-dovey feeling over this film, I regret to say that I really didn't feel it deserves that much praise because of one particularly glaring problem: the middle. The middle of the film pretty much drags its feet through the mud for several minutes, and it's kind of annoying. This segment of the film actually tries to get the characters into more in-depth personalities. I'm sorry, but I may sound like an asshole for saying this, but it sounds kind of stupid to start putting the development of the characters that way into the movie. They're already halfway through the film already, and you're bothering to put this stuff in now? Furthermore, as I said, this movie was all about zombie cliches. Well, the characters, aside from Tallahassee, are pretty much all cliches. They are interesting, and there's a nice little scene towards the end between Wichita and Columbus, but everything else just feels kind of tacked on, especially with relationships. It's funny and all, but in all honesty, it just feels like you waited too late in the game to introduce these characters' personality developments. Even the one part in the film where Tallahassee reveals a rather emotional and depressing secret, it's immediately wiped away by a funny joke. And that's not saying the joke is in bad taste, it's saying that it was in poor writing taste to try and make a film something that it wasn't. What really made the film sell was its zombie gags, all the cliches, the obvious parodies and homages in the beginning with the zombie tricks and the rules. But all of those are ultimately left behind. It's like the novelty just wore off and we're waking up with that stinging feeling still in our mouth. It still tastes kind of good, but it's not as good as it was before. And in a way, it was kind of a letdown, especially also since the film was so short. It's only like 81 minutes. Final wrap-up, Zombieland is indeed a fresh and funny take on the zombie, genre. Tallahassee Woody Harrelson is the true breakout star of this. The role was written for him, he was born to play it, and he is by far the best reason to see this film. Go see it for him, if anything else. The zombies are great. It's funny. They got a great way of making it creative and fun, especially with how they kill the zombies. Decent cast. I love the music and the opening sequences in that, but I just felt this film dragged its feet way too deeply in the middle. It tried too late to introduce serious characterizations in the middle. It seems kind of redundant to do it at that point. Don't try now. When you're so late in the game, the novelty unfortunately wears off towards the middle. It picks up towards the end, but to me, it wasn't enough to make this film other than just say, I'll see it again, but I don't want to buy it. Bottom line, I give Zombieland 2.5 stars out of 5. Well, that's all for now. This has been Bionic Slime for BS Reviews. Thank you all for listening, and bye for now.